بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين أفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم بلغتك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته الحمد لله. Our gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having able us to be here in a state of good health and iman. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase our iman and our taqwa until our very last days. Ameen, ameen, ya Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah, yesterday we spoke a bit at length on we spoke a bit at length on the about some of the aspects of zuhud, number one, and also some of the signs that the person has husnul khatimah. And these are signs, and one of them being, yani, before if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves a person, he will send angels. And this is easy for Allah. He will send angels to the one that he loves, so that he would arrange all of his affairs before he dies, and such that when he dies, when he passes away, even his jiran, that means he's arranged his affairs so well that even his neighbors are content with him. There's nothing for them to be seeking on the day of judgment. Everything has been settled, every one of their affairs, debts, everything has been arranged for, everything has been put into place. Now, this is a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves that person. So these are, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not leave us alone to face death. And that, I think, is something that we need to remind ourselves and the people around us, or as much as there's accountability in Islam, but the mercy in Islam is also very vast, very vast. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he wants to, he could change the fate of a person. And we hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be content with whatever we've been doing, inshallah. Now, the next part is sickness and death. Okay? When people fall ill, they should concentrate on asking abundantly for forgiveness, on remembering God, and on repenting of prior sins and times of forgetfulness. Since they do not know whether this illness will lead to death, their time has come. So this is something which is important, number one. When we are afflicted with illness, and we have read this before as well, that when someone is afflicted with illness, sakaratul maut, the angels of death are also with him, which means it can be a very simple cold, flu. And this is something we take for granted in this day and age, because of medicine, we think we can just pop a pill and everything will be fine. But we forget, number one, from whom does this illness come from? Number one. Number two, and from whom can and will the shifa, the cure, come from? And it comes from none other from Allah. Same when we have this life and death as well. And that's the reason why, when we say the word Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Verily, inna lillahi, we are from Allah, wa inna ilayhi raji'un, and to Allah we shall return. It is mentioned from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that whoever, when is afflicted with a calamity, not just death, with a calamity, and pronounces these words as a dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will build for him a castle in Jannah called Hamd, a castle of praise, specifically for the people who do this. So this is not only when to mention when upon death, and ulama has mentioned that Why this is important, this saying, is because in it there is tawheed. Inna lillahi. Yani from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we come from. So when we hear a calamity, we should always remind ourselves, from whom do we come from? From whom? Who is the one that creates us? And who is the one who has also placed this problem to us? Inna ilayhi raji'un, and back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that means all of the tawheed af'al, all of the actions and all is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this goes back to Allah. So we come from Allah and we go back to Allah. And that is the reason why Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked us to recite this, so that we do not lose the oneness of Allah when we are presented with a certain calamity, a bala, a musibah. So when a person is afflicted with illness, the first thing the person should do is to recite plentiful of istighfar. For we do not know where this illness will lead us to. What I'm trying to say is that it could lead us to death. Simple things, simple illnesses that we take lightly. And so we should not take our illnesses lightly. Each time we are ill, just take it, number one, as a kafara from Allah, as a way of